We talk UAlbany football every Wednesday here on Big Board Sports. We are the home of UAlbany football, play-by-play. We'll segue right into basketball season coming up. UAlbany at home against Elon this Saturday. It's a 12 noon kick. Zach and I will be on the air with the pregame show at 11:30 from Tom and Mary Casey's Stadium on Bob Ford Field. The head coach is Greg Gattuso, who normally would join us in studio and normally be with me later today at the Recovery Sports Grill for the recording and the taping of his coach's show, UAlbany Football Weekly. But condolences to Coach, who had an immediate family member pass away over the weekend, and he is dealing with that today, and therefore not with us in studio and will not be on the coach's show. So condolences, Coach. Thanks for a few minutes.
Thanks, Roger. Appreciate it. Thanks, Zach.
Let's start with last week, and I did not talk to you immediately after the football game was over, but I did read your quote in the paper, and you said the first half against Villanova, a 24-13 loss, was unacceptable, and it was pretty strong words coming from you.
Well, I didn't think we played very well, and as the game wore on, we started I thought the fourth quarter we at least started fighting back, and I wasn't happy with where we're at, but the bottom line, Raj, is, as you look at the tape, and we've got to just play our game better. I always say we got to stick to our script. I think we're off it, and I think we're trying to do too much. We have issues why we're having some problems right now, but that's part of football. You have to overcome injuries and youth and all those things. So I'd like to see us get out of the gates this week and play our game, and I'll feel good if we'll have a chance to get a good win.
How big of a game is this on Saturday? You've lost 3 in a row, need to stop the bleeding here, and you got Elon coming in. Looks like, at least on paper, a game that you could get. How big of a game is this Saturday?
They're all big, Roger. That's the problem is, we started 4-0, and we probably weren't as good as some people thought we were at 4-0, and I don't think we're as bad as we looked last week at the end of 3 losses. But when you look at the games we're playing, and we're not playing bad teams. We lost a heartbreaker to the number 5 team in the country. Maine will probably is getting votes and is going to be ranked if they win this week. And then you lose a really good Villanova team that had their quarterback back and played a good game. And so, I'm disappointed that we're not rising up a little more, but also I understand where we're at in our development. And, I just like to see us come out and play a great game this week. And I think we can get back on track. I really do.
Coach Gattuso with us here on Big Board Sports. Elon, the opponents, a noon kick on Saturday, and Zach and I with the pregame at 11:30 and the play-by-play at 12 noon. What's you've been injured too, and certainly at the wide receiver spot. What's the status of Z Roberson? You're arguably your number 1 guy right now. Brad Harris out for the season with a broken foot. What's the status of Z Roberson with a knee injury?
Well, he practiced yesterday at times and looked like he's going to have a chance to play. So I would still list him as questionable to probable. I think it's important, that he's healthy when he comes back. But, he's dealing with it's a pain issue, and he's fighting through. So I think we got a chance to get him back, and I think that's really important because our young receivers are progressing, but it's a big step back when you lose Brad Harris and Z Roberson, and you have all the young guys running around. So we just gotta stay within ourselves and play our game plan. I thought we got out of that a little bit. It was tough sledding for the quarterbacks last week too. I mean, Nevin, there was a lot of wind, and it was hard to throw. And I'm expecting him to have a really good bounce back game this week.
Coach, what phase of the game needs the most improvement leading into this weekend against Elon?
I think just sticking to the plan. I think I talked to the seniors. I said, let's not wait till your last game as a senior to try to have a great game. Let's start now and use your leadership to help us build where we're going. It's really a lot of our issues right now are some is opponent caused, some of it self-inflicted. It's just not fitting things properly, mental errors that are uncharacteristic of us. I think that if we would stick to our plan and keep fighting, we'd be okay. And that's been the message this week. I think, we've got to tackle better on defense. And offensively, we've got to throw the ball better. You know, there's no secret magic weapon here. We just got to be more efficient in what we're doing. We can't make our kids bigger yet. We can't get them experience. We have to fight through this growth and the experience issues, which is what we're doing, and we're making progress. But we've got to grow up too and start understanding that those excuses and those things maybe were valid, but they're no longer valid, and we need to step up and have a better game this week.
Coach, are you still confident in Sussman? I know you did get the Will Brunson in the game for a little bit in that second quarter at Villanova. Obviously, you're sticking with Sussman, but talk about you putting Brunson in the game a little bit against Nova on Saturday.
I'm very, very confident in Nevin Sussman, and I'm very confident in all my quarterbacks, as you know, in our conversations. The big thing to me is that we are, like last year, preparing Will Brunson to be in a battle. We think Nevin Sussman right now is the number one quarterback, and we think Will Brunson's got a lot of potential. So when game situations present themselves, we're not afraid to put Will out there. And it was good to get him some playing time so he can start learning as well. So we have a plan. We're sticking to it. I'm not deviating from our plan with our quarterbacks. It's a critical position. It's a position where the mental side is really critical, and we're not going to mess with their minds and throw them too many curveballs because we're trying to develop them. They're both really, really young and inexperienced. Now, that's starting to go away, and I think the one good thing I've seen with Nevin is when he's not played great, he's bounced back and played really well. You saw that after Rhode Island. He came and played very well against really 3 games in a row, played pretty well. And, last game we kind of dropped a little bit, but I think he's going to come back and have a really good game this week.
Coach, what is the scouting report on Elon?
They're kind of like us. They're same year in the league, and their development coach Krotsky, I know him. He's a good guy and a good coach, and they have been they went in and stunned William and Mary. You saw that happen a couple weeks ago. Last year they went up and beat Maine on the road. They're a good football team. They're athletic. They're probably going to have a similar size to us. It won't be as big a team as we've seen recently, and they're playing with younger players. So it's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a very typical CAA game in the sense that everybody can beat you. Anybody can beat anybody at any week. So we're going to prepare to play a tough football game and try to stick to our game plan.
Coach Gattuso, we appreciate a few minutes again. Condolences on the loss of an immediate family member over the weekend, and we will certainly see you on the sideline, I know, on Saturday for the noon kickoff.
Thanks, Roger. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Coach. Greg Gattuso with us every Wednesday here on Big Board Sports.